Paris project is a European-funded project under Horizon EU that was designed to encourage collaboration between groups that are working on greenhouse gas reporting to their national inventory teams and groups that are working on using atmospheric data to verify those emissions so that there's more interaction between the people doing the scientific work and the groups working on that policy end.
Within Europe, there was this gap where we could see that there were emissions, but we didn't have any measurements.
Countries currently calculate their emissions by counting things effectively, counting the number of cows, multiplying that by what the average cow emits. So they have this very bookkeeping approach to inventories, and we're trying to do this in a very different way.
So we measure the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere to then independently verify the emissions.
The UK have been submitting an annex chapter to their national inventory report for more than 20 years, which is submitted to the United Nations. Switzerland have been doing it for more than a decade, but no EU country was doing this. So the whole thing about Paris is about trying to get EU countries to adopt this sort of technology so that they can start to have more confidence in the emissions that they're declaring to the United Nations.
One of the big things that we're doing is to develop the modeling capability to sort of interpret the big measurement networks that exist within Europe already. In the past, it was all a little bit ad hoc. Everyone was doing something a little bit differently, and it always made it difficult to unpick why things were different.
My goal is to quantify emissions using atmospheric measurements, so treat models to estimate emissions that we are comparing with other groups of this project.
We're working with groups in Switzerland, so the EMPA organization. In Germany, we have the DWD organization. And then in the UK, we have Bristol University and the Met Office. And we're all meeting very regularly, at least once a week, where we're actually all trying to assimilate the network of observations within Europe with the goal that we can actually start intercomparing and producing results that are comparing apples to apples.
What is really exciting about Paris is that it is already influencing the government policy. So, for example, by working with the Netherlands inventory team,
we started measuring halocarbons in a site in the Netherlands. They take the flask samples and they send it to me. I then take it and analyze it in the lab.
This year is the first year that the Dutch will actually hopefully have an annex in their national inventory report, and that's only come about because of Paris.
The atmosphere does not have any borders. Large collaborative projects are one of the few ways that you can make real progress in science.
Funding allows us to hire more people, to develop those links with other countries, and to therefore develop the science faster and the pull through to policy faster. Without that funding, without that glue to make it work, it wouldn't happen.
Horizon EU funding was taking some of the work that we've been doing really on a research basis before and really ramping up the development to sort of bring our work to a more professional, kind of an operational capacity so we can work directly with policymakers.
I've been involved in, this is my third Horizon bid. The way we did it in Paris was had a very clear vision of what we wanted to do. You need to focus your effort where you think you've got greatest amount of potential for success.
Our team here has certain expertise in greenhouse gas measurements and modeling that we felt could actually contribute a lot to this program. And so it made complete sense to apply for European funding.
The pull-through of Paris and where we'd like to leave Paris when the funding ends is that different countries in Europe have already got a modelling capability, a measurement capability, and very importantly, the connections between their scientific bodies and their inventory compilers who report to governments. And they can help each other come up with a better understanding of their emissions within their own country.
we've created a tool that now we can share beyond Paris.